Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the Ray from the Ford the FF1600, this time at Long Beach Street Circuit for yet another track guide. Now if you want to race this exact setup, we do now have a Patreon page where you can actually join as a member, or you can just simply purchase each setup as they come for $3 a time. You don't have to, but the option is now there. If you're new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap and breakdown, then we are back in the cockpit one final time, the driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and as always, let's start the hot lap. So we're smashing it down the main straight-ish. It's more of a bend. Trying to hug it round to the right-hand side, and what we're looking for on the right-hand side is just before the 300 mark. Going to brake up to about 18-90%, trail it off down to second gear, back on the gas at the apex. I'm going to start braking just before that wall comes over to us. We brake quite hard in first gear, back over to the left-hand side, up to second, just a lift as we go around here. Now back on the gas just before the ad holding is going to brake up to about 40% down to second gear. Don't hit the wall on exit. I get nice and tight to it. Over to the right-hand side, and we're looking for just before the 200 sign on the left-hand side. Again, braking up to about 90% down to second gear, back on the gas. Quite slidey through there, over to the left-hand side. And now we're looking for just before the 200, up to 70%, down to second gear. Again, get nice and tight to that wall on exit without hitting it. I obviously did this on my first try, and this was not like my 73rd lap. Right, 300 board, braking up to about 85%. Very slippy around here. Second gear, over to the right-hand side. Now we're just feathering the throttle, trying to get us turned in. The end of the curbings, on the brakes, in first gear, back on the gas. And we floor it to go across the line. As I say, if you want to race this setup, it is available on our Patreon page. There is a link in the description. We have the breakdown lap coming up next. Right, breakdown lap. It is a tricky circuit, but if you can nail this in practice, you will have a great week here, because half the people won't finish. Right, so our first braking marker is sort of midway between the 400 and the 300. I start thinking about putting my foot down at the 400, and by the time it actually starts going down, it is probably at the 300. Let's have a see. Right. Yeah, so on my right hand of my triple screens, I can still see the 400 board, but I'm already on the brakes. And I hold it at around 80-90%, wipe that off, down to second gear. And yeah, I want to be getting back on the gas where I am now. I was actually quite late on the gas, and I've got a couple of feet to my right-hand side here, so I could have gone earlier. Next braking marker, we're going to start braking where I am now, so the end of this yellow line. Before we get to the wall coming up on our left, but the yellow line to the front right of my nose cone. And again, we brake up to almost full pressure there. Trail it off down to first gear, picking back up as we hit the apex of this roundabout, whatever you guys call them over there. Now we're going to do a lift where I am now, just as we get up to the first ad hoardings on the left-hand side. Picking back up on the gas as we go over the hump. Back up to full now. I'm straightening my wheel. Next braking marker is going to be where I am now. So this end of this sort of white wall before we get to the sort of grayer wall. And we brake only up to about 40%. Trail it off. Getting back on the gas at the apex and really jumping over this curbing here. Head over to the right-hand side. Right, so again, I believe in my head that it's the 200, but I may start before then. Let's have a quick see. So yeah, it's midway between the 200 and the 300, and I brake up to about 90%. Picking back up on the gas at the apex. It's always interesting when you slow it down to see where you do actually brake compared to where your brain thinks you brake when you're actually driving. Next one should be the 200 mark. We'll have a see. So yeah. 200 mark, get on the brakes up to about 70%, and again, trail off down to second gear, getting back on the gas at the apex. I've given myself a good couple of feet on the right-hand side here, which does mean that I got very tight on exit. Right, for the next one, it should be the 300 board, so let's have a see. Yeah, so I got on the brakes just ahead of the 300 here. And again, I hold the brakes at around 85%. Now trail it off, getting back on the gas. Yeah, just about at the apex, although I could be a foot over to the right-hand side. What I don't like is the 3D nature of that curbing if you actually hit it just wrong, because it will turn you around. Head back over to the right-hand side as I go under this little bridge, and I'm in the shadow. That's when I get off the gas and on the brakes, only up to about 10%, and now I'm just feathering. And I'm going to start braking exactly where I am now, so just a couple of car lengths before the end of the rumble strip. I only brake up to about 70%, quick trail off, down to first gear, picking back up on the gas as soon as I can, get the arse end rotated, and pin our ears for the line. And over and across we go in a 125.6. Right, we've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking. Enjoy.